Okay, so I thought I'd do an update. I've been doing some things. I haven't been filming. It's kind of some smaller stuff, but I've actually got it mostly put back together to kind of mock it up, see how everything fits. I don't have the actual hood on, but other than that, I think taking off from the last video, I built the rear suspension. I got this clutch set up here. I did some modifications to the spring to make it a little tighter. I put some front brakes on. I'm still working out. I've got to mount the pedal, the standard handle converted to brake foot pedal there. I've been working on making a gas pedal for this. I've just got to, this is off another machine. I'm going to get it mounted up here somehow. So I'll have foot brake, foot gas, I've got foot clutch. I've worked on making a shifter over here. It's got a little bit of play in it. It's not the greatest thing in the world because the pattern is so tight, you really don't have much room to maneuver between gears. It's kind of easy to overshoot, but I've got it in. There's reverse, there's neutral, there's second, I think. So anyway, there's the shifter. I've got this detachable handle so that way I can take the fenders and everything off. I've got it mounted to this shaft that goes across. See if we can see in here. I've got an arm welded to it that pivots up there. It's connected to the shifter and it seems to work out all right. So I've got my seat mounted. I bought a low profile seat. I made it flip up, which is not much count at the moment. I may cut out a section here so I can access the battery. I got the battery mounted back here. I've got a plate bolted to the top of it, keep it from going anywhere. Probably make access for it. I've got the whole thing wired up now, at least for the starter. You can see I've got power cable running up, starter solenoid spliced into the wiring on the motor. It turns over. It's taken off, actually. It's not in neutral. I've got this steering wheel on here for now. It's a cheap, crappy one, but it fits this shaft. I'm either going to replace it with some handlebars or a different, larger, at least a more solid steering wheel. Yeah, other than that, I got to get the brake pedal built, the brake hooked up, the gas pedal built, and then it'll be time to start this sucker and see what it does. I think I'm going to have to make some modifications to the front suspension. The upper A-arms from my testing looks like they're too close together on the inside pivots, and they actually need to be moved up about an inch or so. It doesn't look too bad right now, but as the suspension travels on one side, there is some bump steer. It's not due to the tie rod setup. It's located on the pivots. It's the fact that there's too much positive camber as the suspension compresses, and it's causing the front to toe in a little bit, so the geometry's off slightly. But I think I can cut those brackets off, make some new upper control arms. It shouldn't be too bad, but I'm happy with the lower control arms. I'm probably going to leave the brakes on the front side like that. It seems like the lines run better that way. And yeah, so I'll follow back up. We'll get this thing fired up, do some test drives on it, and then from there it'll be wiring in lights, getting everything else solid, putting some paint on it. Should be good to go, but it's actually starting to come together. I feel like it's looking pretty good now. So we'll follow back up and get it started. Oh, another thing I've realized, it turns out that you don't need the roller guides for the rear pulley. Since I have my ones mounted directly above the swing arm pivot up there, it actually keeps everything aligned, the belt lined with the front and the rear pulley. So all you need is these directly over the swing arm pivot, and everything else stays aligned. So I actually cut those off that I had back here and got rid of them because they weren't really doing anything, and it's just extra complexity. So I think that's going to work out all right. The belt seems to tighten up nicely with the clutch. Be ready to go.